Why motivation is lying to you, and what truly creates consistency. What if everything you've been told about motivation is wrong? Imagine waking up tomorrow. You feel unstoppable. You promise yourself that today will be different. You will finally exercise, study, read, build your business, meditate. This time, you mean it. But by evening, something changes. You feel tired. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Then one day, you look back and wonder where all the time went. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Motivation didn't abandon you. It was never designed to stay. Think about it. Have you ever felt incredibly inspired after watching a powerful video, only to lose that feeling a few hours later? Almost everyone has. That isn't weakness. It's how the human brain works. Motivation is an emotion. And emotions rise, then fall. They come without warning. And they leave just as quickly. Yet millions of people spend their lives waiting for motivation to return. They say, I'll begin when I feel ready. I'll work when inspiration comes. I'll change when I finally have enough motivation. But what if the people you admire, the athletes, the entrepreneurs, the artists, the monks, the scientists, don't actually depend on motivation at all? What if the biggest secret behind extraordinary consistency is something much quieter, something almost invisible? Because behind every remarkable achievement, there is a pattern, a system, a way of thinking that keeps people moving, even on the days they feel nothing. And once you understand it, you'll never look at productivity the same way again. But before we reveal that hidden system, there's one dangerous myth that has trapped millions of people for years. It sounds helpful. It feels true. Yet it quietly destroys progress every single day. And chances are, you still believe it. The biggest lie about success is simple. People tell you, if you're motivated enough, you'll do the work. It sounds logical. But reality tells a different story. Imagine two people. The first waits until they feel inspired. The second starts, even when they don't feel like it. 1 month later. Who has made more progress? It's almost always the second person. Because action doesn't always follow motivation. Very often, motivation follows action. Think about the last time you cleaned your room. At first, you probably didn't want to begin. But after putting away just a few things, something changed. The task became easier. Your energy increased. Your mind became clearer. You didn't become productive because you felt motivated. You became motivated because you started. This is one of the brain's hidden patterns. It resists beginning. But once you're moving, it prefers to keep moving. That's why the hardest part of almost every goal is the first minute. Not the first hour. Not the first week. Just the decision to begin. Highly consistent people understand this. They don't negotiate with themselves every morning. They don't ask, do I feel motivated today? Instead, they ask, what's the next small action? 1 push-up. 1 page. 1 paragraph. 5 minutes of focused work. Small actions feel almost too easy. But that's exactly why they work. Every small promise you keep sends your brain a powerful message. I am someone who follows through. And slowly, that identity becomes stronger. Here's what most people never realize. Consistency isn't built by giant moments of inspiration. It's built by hundreds of ordinary decisions, made when nobody is watching. But there's still one question left. If motivation can't be trusted, then what keeps someone showing up for years? The answer isn't willpower. In fact, willpower is far weaker than most people believe. And understanding why could completely change the way you approach every goal. Here's something that may surprise you. The most consistent people aren't the strongest. They aren't the smartest. And they don't have endless self-control. They simply make fewer decisions. Think about it. Every decision drains a little mental energy. Should I work now, or later? Should I exercise, or skip today? Should I read, or scroll for 5 more minutes? By the end of the day, your mind is exhausted. That's when excuses sound reasonable. I've had a long day. I deserve a break. I'll do twice as much tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. The cycle repeats. But highly consistent people break this cycle before it begins. They replace decisions with systems. Instead of asking whether they'll work, they work at the same time every day. Instead of wondering where to start, they already know the next step. Instead of relying on memory, they prepare their environment. The book is already on the desk. The workout clothes are laid out the night before. The phone is placed in another room. The distractions are removed before the battle even begins. This may seem ordinary, but that's the secret. Consistency doesn't come from heroic effort. It comes from reducing friction. Imagine a river. It doesn't force its way through the land every morning. It follows the path that's already there. Day after day. Year after year. Eventually, it carves through solid rock. Your habits work the same way. Every repeated action deepens the path. Soon, what once felt difficult begins to feel natural. You no longer argue with yourself. You simply do the work. And then something remarkable happens. People start calling you disciplined. They think you possess incredible willpower. They don't see the invisible systems you've built. They only see the results. But one obstacle remains. It's the obstacle that destroys more dreams than failure ever could. Not laziness. Not fear. Not lack of talent. It's something far more subtle. And if you don't recognize it, it can erase months of progress without you even noticing.